Out of politics. Wow, I just took American Heritage. I don't think I'll ever be getting in politics ever in my life.
Did you find that you hate America more after taking that class? Because that was definitely my experience.
Yeah, a lot of resentment towards BYU in terms of having that class be a thing. Yeah, no.
Gosh, man.
All right, guys, thanks for coming. We got Richie Saunders on the right. We got Trey Stewart on the left. We'll open up for questions.
We look a lot alike, so it's very hard to tell which one.
Yeah.
Which. I'm Trey, by the way.
You guys are both pretty aggressive, spirited defenders, effective, especially. You guys have had a really solid defensive campaign as a team thus far. What do you kind of attribute that to? What's kind of made the difference this year defensively?
What you got for us?
I just say in the summer, just that constant work. Finel has definitely drilled it into us. And we kind of talk about this thing where we call our standard. We have the standard, and we're supposed to uphold the standard. If we're down 20, if we're up 30, it doesn't matter. The standard is the standard, and that's a phrase that's kind of been consistent throughout our team. And, again, like that summer work that we've put in and the preseason work, we are all aware of what the standard is. So we're all just kind of locked in on that. And my whole life I've hung my hat on defense, and I know it's kind of been the same for Richie. So,
Yeah, Mitch said it great. I got nothing else to add.
Was that a change this year? Because Coach Cahill was part of the staff last year. Was it like he's the designated defensive guy on the staff? Was that a new change for you guys?
Yeah, I feel like, I don't know, last year we were a really young team, right? And we were able to really build on the principles that we got tested on all the time last year during the different games, but really build on it. And I feel like Coach Cahill has done a really good job at getting down to the basics of, I feel like in a lot of my personal film with him, like we've talked a lot about the why of different positioning, like why I need to be in certain spots. I think it's been a really big blessing to me in my defensive game. So
yeah.
Defense, or go ahead, Trey.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, like, it's like anything in life. Like, I bring this up as an example, like the testimony of Jesus Christ. Every year it gets deeper and deeper. With our testimony of defense, it's just getting deeper and deeper. I mean, last year we were taught the exact same principles. Crazy analogy, huh? Last year we were taught the exact same principles, but this year, like when he says, "Oh, get into the body on a ball screen," last year I was like, "Okay, I can do that." But then, like, it didn't really mean that much to me. But this year I'm like, "No, like we've been hurt before. Don't go under a ball screen." If anybody remembers that Gonzaga game, we went under a ball screen. So there's just so many of those memories like that that's turned learning into knowledge. So we all have knowledge now. So.
How big of a focus is defense in a just standard practice in a week? Like how much of the practices you guys are going through on a daily basis is focused on the defensive end?
It's like a super large portion. I feel like a lot of you guys have been able to be at our practices, but our practices are up and down the whole time. And so that's both offensive and defense, right? But again, like the little details are so like emphasized during those up and downs.
Yeah, same with like the scout. Like, I don't know, we're just always playing defense, I feel like, which is awesome. And practice has been structured in a way which is very good. So we kind of have the mindset of like, okay, we're gonna go do a defensive break off. This team does a lot of off-ball movements. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do a drill that simulates that, and then we're gonna go to the other end and do a drill that simulates another part of their defense. And then we're going to come together and do shell together, and then we're all familiar. We felt those principles, like we felt them in slower paces and like smaller group breakdowns, so we're thinking of those principles. And then once we get in that big group, it's like, okay, now we're going to put the whole pieces together, and then we're really locked in on every little detail.
Richie, it feels like this year you've taken a jump from last year. Feels like your contributions affect every single aspect of the game, especially on the stat sheet. Who are some of those basketball players that you might have looked up to growing up, or who you might watch now to model your game after? Are there any guys that you're trying to play like, or anything like? What are kind of your basketball influences?
Yeah, the biggest one growing up was always Tyler Haws. Coincidentally, you know.
Really?
Yeah.
That's dope.
You know, I remember when I got a little signed thing from him when I was just maybe 8 or 9. But he was always something I really looked up to, and it's now been a little bit of a mentor for me as I've been able to pick his brain on some stuff. But, you know, like I love Klay Thompson and C.J. McCollum as well. And, but, yeah, no, I'm super grateful for this year and how fun it is as a team to be able to win games.
Why do you guys think your three-point shooting has improved so much from last year to this year? What's gone into that?
We are challenged to shoot about 33s a game. And I feel like just knowing that we got to get shots up. We know that we can't outsize different teams, but this is one thing that we really can do better than everybody else. And that challenge is like taken real, by both the coaches and by us.
That's a fact. It was Pope said something yesterday in practice that made us all laugh. Where, so this team we play, they have one of their highest percentages of scoring is in the last 4 seconds of the shot clock, because in that 4 seconds it's just I'm just gonna shoot it, and you have that kind of unconscious mentality of just what happens. I'm just gonna huck up a prayer. If it goes in, it goes in, and that's been good for them. But Pope was they feel like you do at the end of the shot clock, how you guys feel the whole possession. It's the whole possession. As soon as you're open, Richie's my favorite example of this. As soon as Richie's open, he's going to shoot it. And no one's mad at that. Everyone's okay, that's exactly what we want. We want to take open threes because we need to get 30 up to make Cody Feger happy. Yeah. So, yeah.
It's I'm telling you, if we get 29, we get talked about it,
It's the same on defense, bro. We were Finel. We held the team to 52, and he was not happy. And we're all sitting there, we're bro, we held them to 52 points. What more do you want from us? But again, it's details.
So is there a certain benchmark on defense, too, that you guys are trying to hit, the 33s? Or was that just a specific instance of?
Yeah, that was a specific instance. I feel but Trey talked about the standard, and I feel like it's more of a general sense of, we need to, we talk a lot about winning the combat zone. So anything inside the three-point line is, we have to be the aggressor. And I feel like just that standard is what we talk about all the time.
Yeah, it's subjective, but we all know what it is. So
with Bellarmine,
Last question.
I was gonna say with Bellarmine tomorrow, that's one of the most unique offenses in college basketball. I'm sure you've seen.
Yeah.
They don't really no ball screens. Just it's kind of they're pressing on offense.
Yeah.
What are kind of the challenges of defending that, and what's kind of the mindset going into a challenge like that?
Being locked in the whole time. Our scout team yesterday, at the end of every possession, they're all is cooked because they were running around in a circle.
Yeah, again, 25 seconds of the shot clock. That's a long time. I feel like even in practice yesterday, we saw that we need to really be dialed in for those last 3-4 seconds because you might get hit on the back cut right there. But it is unique, and I'm excited to play against it.
Yeah. Satisfying to watch, too, on film. You're how do they know where they're going?
It's so sick.
Yeah. What up, Dallin Hall?
What up?
Hey, I got here late, sorry guys.
Oh, you good.
We got
Could you talk about the impact Marcus Adams has made on the team, both as a person and as a player, because now he's getting some practice time in and all that?
Yeah, he's his roommate. So.
Yeah, just new energy. Young kid, just looking to just come play. So he's a funny kid. He's good. Yeah.
Seems like in games on the sideline, he's
Oh yeah,
winding
he
up.
thrives on that crowd energy. He's a big crowd energy guy, so he'll entertain some people, and he has good interaction with the fans.
Yeah, 100%.
So, yeah. I believe Tyson left. So
Tyson.
So now we can talk.
Yeah.
yeah, now I can talk politics.
Thank you, guys.
No, I appreciate y'all.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Y'all have a great one.
You guys have Christmas off?
We do. We get 3 days off, actually. So.
That's
That's amazing, guys.
Well, after running against Bellarmine, you're probably gonna need a week off.
Yeah. Let's see my phone over there.
I can't get the 120 in there. Whenever I think of it, I always think 130.
Coach,
It's
I
130.
need to.
And then when it's after practice, they're never on time. So.
I showed up 24 hours early once. Brandon was here. Same deal.
Like, dude, what are you here for?
I pull up. Yeah. It's the wrong day.
75 miles. How many days do we have left?
So I've got 8 more running days.
Ooh.
I'll make it.
You gotta go 10 every day. Will you bang out like a 20?
No, I'll go like 16 maybe.
Jeez, that's insane.
We'll be fine. We'll make it.
Testing. All right, boys, let's do it.
Go ahead, guys.
How are you?
How's the
You guys are the like freaking dedicated warriors. You know what I mean? So I was in church last Sunday. Was that Sunday? And Anthony Archibald, who is like I don't know, he's second cousin in my ward. Incredible human being. He's talking about his daughter. They are all competitive skiers. They're young. They're incredible. And he said one of his daughters, like, when it gets really, really cold out, like it's blistering cold out, she's like, I love when it's, they go skiing they train like crazy. They go at 3 o'clock in the morning before it was there. Like, I love when it's cold because it keeps all the wimps away.
It's a kind of way of calling
You
it
got,
degenerate journalists.
you guys are the gamers, man.
Sick of them.
Oh, okay, sorry. Go ahead.
No, just what do you attribute the success on defense with this group so far?
I'm a genius, clearly. A lot. I think a lot. I think our guys have been really dialed in. I think that they are really kind of, man, let me start over. One, I think the thing I've been most pleased with has been our real-time communication. For the last 4 years, we've kind of sat here and moaned and groaned about, like, we got to talk. NBA players talk. I should take you to NBA practice. They talk. You guys don't even understand how much talking. And then, meantime, the whole time, I'm the one doing the talking. And so, courtesy of the squad and my staff, it kind of was a universal try this summer to be like, we're not talking anymore. And so we actually carved out time every single possession, every single practice for our guys to huddle up and evaluate and talk to each other and coach each other. And I think we've talked about this before, where now we're kind of in the habit of, like, we'll huddle up after a possession or a play or a here, there, back or a series, and the coaches just are allowed to go stand and listen while the players kind of break it down about what they did well, what they want to do better, and it just has become contagious. And we have great, smart, high IQ, caring guys on our team. So we just had to give them the space to actually do it. And so I would say I love our real-time communication so much. I think that's been a massive, massive win for us. Our guys have been really. I think a second thing that's been surprising to me is trying to coach confidence on the defensive end, which is so interesting. I don't know if Trevin has shared with you, or maybe I have, but we had in the spring, Trev was going through some defensive drills, and I was just like, we really need him to be able to guard because he's so potent on the offensive end, and we just got in a conversation real time on the court where it was kind of like, it felt like he was on his heels, and there was like a little bit of a confidence issue with where he was always kind of in the space where he was second-guessing himself and doubting himself and whatever. And our guys have done an unbelievable job of remedying that, where we're guarding with confidence. I know, as weird as that sounds to you, it sounds 100 times more weird to me, but it's actually real. And so I'm really proud of that. And then, Finel is leading our defensive charge, and he's done an unbelievable job taking ownership of that side of the ball, and kind of bringing new ideas to the table. And we've changed philosophies from trying to be like every single possession in the right place team, where we don't change much, to really having change in defenses. And I think all of those things have been really important.
Was that a change from last year where Coach Finel was designated
Yes.
as the defensive
Yes.
guy? What inspired that change to where he was the designated defensive guy?
It was just time. It was just the right time. We kind of, one of the things that I think we're doing better right now is trying to I've always, as a coach, I've always been wanting to utilize everything that everybody can bring to the table. And so it was a community effort on a lot of things, which there are some real wins to that, and we still do that. But we've had a huge emphasis as we kind of reworked the staff this summer with personnel changes and positional changes. The focus was, yes, we want everybody to share in all the work, but we want to really, really focus on bringing out people's strengths. And Coach Finel is unbelievable communicator on our team, and has come from different places in basketball and has a really great demeanor and rapport with our guys. And it's just the right space for him right now, and he's crushing it.
What are your thoughts on Bellarmine, seeing their film? Obviously, they play a super
Yeah.
unique style of
Yeah.
basketball and offense.
Yeah, they're really good. They haven't had exactly the results they want so far, but they are very game plan oriented defensively. Is kind of our take on it. They really are going to take their best shot at guarding, at having specific game plans for specific teams defensively, and then on the offensive end, they're probably. I mean, I don't know if we're tracking it nationwide, but they've got to be the most sides of the floor per possession offensively. They're really remarkable. They swing the ball and attack on the run really, really well. They got 5 really, really skilled guys on the floor. Most of the time, 4 guys that can really shoot it, and sometimes 5, and then a postman who's probably been their best player the last 5 games. They're a good team. Clearly, really well coached. Coaches, I think, is he on year 20 maybe?
Yeah, he's been there forever.
It's incredible what he's done, and they're a good team. They're a good team.
What is the depth provided for you defensively? It seems like it's fair to say that you're probably 9 or 10 as you've been
Yeah.
7 or 8
Yeah.
the last couple of years.
Yeah. It clearly helps us. It's interesting because we haven't had a roster yet. Like what's the date? Are we December? We're somewhere in December, right? So, and we haven't had a game where we've had our roster available to us. So, the depth first and foremost has been a blessing just in terms of being able to survive. And at some point we're going to have a full roster, and it's going to be really fun. We're like, wow, we just get to really coordinate that effort. But it helps us. It certainly helps our energy on the floor. We're asking our guys to do a lot, especially with this kind of wedge slice in the game. We're asking them to do a lot. And so I think it helps keep guys fresh. I think it helps us jockey assignments a little bit. I think it helps us jockey matchups a little bit, both on the offensive and defensive. And then I think it helps us coordinate player groups where I have a little more freedom to kind of put player A with player B because the leverage of those 2 guys together is really, really good over the first 11 games. And so it gives us a lot of flexibility, which has been really nice. It also keeps the locker room really fresh. It's pretty fun that way.
How'd everyone get their finals done? All that could they get taken care of?
We're close. We got a couple guys that are, going to push the midnight oil tonight to get them done. But yeah, we're pretty close.
Did Noah finish 5 days ahead of schedule?
Noah's done.
There we go.
Like he walked in the office today, being like, "Let's go, come on, did it." No, super proud of him.
What this team has a lot of chemistry. It seems like on and off the court. Like, what are some things they do away from the court that brings them so close here? We've heard about the Europe trip, but since that, what do they do that brings that chemistry to them?
Well, that's a better question for some of the guys that are putting all this on, like Dallin Hall and Trevin Nell and Jackson Robinson. I think that they will probably share some of the things that they do together as a team with you, and some of the things they won't share.
I heard they got Super Smash Brothers in the team area.
Yeah, and they're having fun. We got brackets going, and it's actually been a nice way for these guys to kind of exhale a little bit from time to time. But I think they're pretty diverse in the things they do together, which is really special. Actually, it's
Do you
brilliant.
feel like that's critical though to a successful team, having that close bond where they like being together, either
Yeah.
married or not, they like being around each
For
other?
us, it's like 100% critical. Those relationships not only help you function well on the court when you're playing well, but they help you stay alive and stay afloat when things get hard. And certainly, in the Big 12, things get hard for everybody, for every team they get hard in the Big 12. So it is vital. And it didn't happen by mistake or by accident. It is our guys. Like our guys, I talked about this. Jackson Robinson, is one of the guys on the team that went way out of his way all summer to push himself way outside of his comfort zone to build relationships with our guys. It's one of the many things he did this summer that have helped us. And, Trevin Nell took a leadership role in that endeavor. And Dallin Hall's always been that way. But it's vitally important for a team to function well together, and certainly important for us. And our guys have killed it, man. They've been unbelievable that way. And we have great pieces, too. So it's been fun.
What's the available roster look like for Friday?
Foos has actually been really good the last few mornings, but I'm guessing no Foos we'll see. I think we'll have some of Dawson Baker, although I don't know, his foot responded great to the game last week.
Jax was a little bit.
And I'm hoping we'll have Jax, although Jax hasn't practiced it. We'll see how it feels today. I'm hoping we'll have Marcus, but he's just finished finals and was pretty sick yesterday, so we'll see how that fits together. So figure it out.
Okay, guys.
Awesome. Merry Christmas,
Thank
guys. Merry Christmas.
What's on your Christmas list for your team?
I'm pretty boring that, man. Let's get a win. Win. We have no cookie selection.